Okay, so welcome again to this class, Business Competitive Strategy. Okay, so one thing, if you look carefully about, words are very, very important. It becomes a phrase. A phrase, if you are able to interpret and deliver the meanings, that is called strategy. That has strategic positioning of your phrases. That has strategic advantage of your phrases. So, every word has meaning. So if you go to, for example, if you go to China, so you go to some of the countries, they have a lot of phrases of words on the factory floor, or on the companies, or even on the streets, along the street. Those phrases has meaning. Those phrases are being utilized by the communities, or utilized by the government, or utilized by the organization as a motto, as a phrase, as a motto, to position and to guide their companies or their communities or the businesses or the nation moving forward to have competitive advantages. When we say competitive advantages, it doesn't mean like killing each other's. No need. Competitive can be collaborative, can be in a harmonious way. No need to you die, I alive. no need, right? Competitive, because when you have competitive, when you're competitive, there is an energy, there is an energy, 能量. There is an energy, right? There is an energy to move higher and higher and higher and forward and forward and forward and forward. And that energy help you to prevent the increase of the disorderness of your companies, of your communities, or complexities of that situation, which we call in technical terms entropy. Okay. So this is what we mean by business competitive strategy as a phrase, a motto that talks about and wants you to understand that, well, number one, we are talking about business. Number two, we are talking about enabling and making the business competitive. Number three, there gotta be a way. There gotta be a unique way. And that unique way, we call it strategy. And words come from many, and manifested in many ways. In your thoughts, cognition, in your behavior, the way you do things. If you only talk, no walking, no action, walk the talk, right? Then that has competitive advantages in the sense that people will follow you. So you have followers. Yes or no? So in this only studying, and I can give you the projects on just write stories about business competitive strategy phrases. Tell me how we're gonna make use of, tell me how we're gonna use this, turn it into a good mottos. So it is about how you make use of, understand the phrases. It's communication, right? Your business administration students, you have gone through a lot of studies and a lot of subjects about communication, right? Well, the communication is not only the internal marketing communications, it is about external marketing communication. And if you are able to make this clear, you create a position for yourself that allows the followers to follow you. Who are the followers? The customers, the suppliers, the banks, the investors, the government, the global world, the whole world. The Facebook, the like will be a lot of like. So followers, right? This will allow you to create advantages, competitive advantages. You establish a brand recognition. That we means by competitive. So the way strategy gotta be competitive. For what? For your business. So, in conclusion, this card is quite flexible. You can imaginatively, innovatively, creatively, theoretically, observation, interviews, brainstorming, understanding, interaction, come up with so many ideas about competitive strategy. Okay, so let's go through step by step the way strategy. I'm just going to capture a couple of things because the details of strategies, like strategy, it's what, strategy manifests what characteristics of strategy. How are we going to manage the strategy? Strategic management. But this class is not about managing the strategy. I assume everybody knows how to manage the strategy, where you can manage the strategy by observation, data, creating the data, understanding the data, analyzing the data, and generate the theory, which is called strategy, or we call hypothesis. So strategy is an assumption. And if that assumption is very robustly valid, that you think it's going to workable hypothesis, okay, you got a good strategy. Go for it. Implementation, invest money on it. That is called management. That is called strategic management. So even you do not go through the word strategic management classes, like, for example, myself, graduated mostly from, with engineering backgrounds, mechanicals, engineering, all the way from, all the basic things, all the way to PhD things and things like that. We have no idea what is strategic management, but we can manage. You can manage, and probably managing better than a strategic management textbook tells you. Okay, so this is what strategic management is for. So once you manage the strategy, you got to know what is strategy. And I already have mentioned about competitive, so let's talk about strategy. Okay, let's talk about a couple of strategies so you can refresh, recall memories, right? Memory, okay, memory, recall from your brain some notes and put some stimulations, stimulating your sinuses, currents, and then ding ding ding, and then recalling, and then the messages pops up. This is what I have. Neural networks, right? Whatever I'm telling you, you can simulate. You can put into artificial intelligence neural and control your production. I do not need to speak things out for the computer to understand what I'm doing. The computer just can read my messages and do and send the signals to the head office. Okay, so what is strategy? I'll give you a couple of important things. Okay, there are a lot of things that I'll try to give you a couple of important things that you need to understand. So you know when you do your project, that when I ask you to do your project, you know your job for every single project in this class. It's about the way. Show me the way. Show me the way. Show me the money. Right, there is this, I forgot the names of the titles of the videos, buffets, and it was show me the money, show me the money, show me the money, show me the money, in that I can win in the largest way, in a large scale way, and that is competitive. Okay, strategy is a coherent set of what? Coherent set of your policies, coherent set of the what? Action, right? Talk to talk, talk to walk to talk to walk to talk to walk. You talk your policy, walk it up. You walk on your policy. Well, let's make sure that it is part of your talk. So your communication and your action are interlinked to create what? Cohesion, coherent. That coherence brings you what? Competitive advantages. It gives you the linkages that will not break easily, so that you can really deliver with a force. So strategy is about a coherent set of, it's not one policy. You have a lot of policy. You have quality policy, right? In your production floor, you have quality policy. In the marketing area, you have a marketing policy. Even drill down to the marketing, there is a brand management. You're trying to develop the brand for this quantum brand. There is a brand policy. I mean, the message you want to deliver to your working teams and the customers. That's a policy. So coherent sets of policies are actually designed to overcome challenges. So if you have any kind of challenges, you could have challenges in terms of do not have the ability. Well, the customers may not have the ability to give you a lot of ideas about how to improve your product. So that is a challenge. That is a problem. That is something you have to solve. And so how do you do that? Well, let me ask you, how are you going to do that? How are you going to create a competitive strategy when you know that you have a high-stake challenges which is very important? It's high-stake because it's very important because customers are very, very important and they can't really tell you the problems. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Well, you can do so many things. You can organize brainstorming sessions. You can develop your sensors. You can develop the feedback systems. You can design your computer system. You can interact with your customer relationship management and enterprise resource planning system, and then pick up and integrate all the databases and data and see, and then in conclusion, what kind of issues that you can draw from your customers. And from there, you can develop your strategies that align with the requirements of the customer. When you can align with the requirements of the customer, that is called you're delivering value to the customers. That is the heart of strategy. That is the beginning or the breaching point. The breach, right? The breach from one end to another end, right? Right? Remember your business model, the canvas, you have the supply side, you have the demand side, and how do you breach? How do you breach? Customer value proposition. Okay, that is the value. So again, these values are very, very important. It is a challenge, and it is also you could see it as a part of a problem, and it's a very urgent problem. And if you do not look at it as an urgent problem, you will not solve the problem. You will not solve the value proposition as treating it as a problem. You will think that, oh, I can come up with some values, probably I can do some things, I can write pen, and then I can do. But what exactly is the problem? Writing? Solving the problem, delivering the value? Well, there are a lot of problems. Let me ask you, if I ask you to do a research, on this kind of marker pen, and why they pick this brand rather than another brand, why is the reason? Well, I'm sure, you will figure it out. But what I'm trying to say is it's solving a real urgent problem. Well, it is urgent because people need to use the marker pens every day. Well, it is an urgent problem to solve strategically because we need to understand exactly what is going on with the customers, what kind of problems and pain points they have, and what kind of things we need to do, what values they need. Well, for me, I need a consistency. I need the liquids not to go so wet and it destroys my pages. And I need to last long. And I need to not, like opening up the cap and it just get evaporated. So the the materials are very, very important. What I'm trying to say is strategy is about solving a real urgent problem. And the natures of the problem, you have to figure it out. Okay, you have to figure out the nature of the problem. For example, do we have a problems with the sustainability? In what natures of problems with the sustainability? Do you see it as an urgent problem? Do you know, Biden's, when he was inaugurated to be a president, and now he is the president of United States, and I'm not so sure, yesterday or a couple of days or 2 days ago, he to make a dramatic shift to focus on climatic change, and that is an urgent problem. And he sees the urgent problem, and he sees the urgent problems in different angles. He sees the storm, the thunders, the storms. Frequencies, it sees the flooding, it sees the COVID-19, it sees the inability to control, and that natures of the problem. When you want to solve it, that is the starting point for what? Strategy. So when you're trying to focus on competitive strategy, therefore, do you focus on strategy? Do you focus on strategy? No, you don't focus on the strategy. The strategy is the way you can have an open innovation. You can put on the Facebook. You can put on a Facebook. Hi, everyone's. You're my friends. I am part of the world. I have a problem. Help me to solve. I'm sure a lot of people will help you to solve. You will get thousands of strategy. Now, how are you going to integrate all this idea for becoming your idea? Well, that is your strategy. That is your competency. There's another class I'm teaching, business competency development. Well, how you get it depends on your attitude, depends on your skills, depends on your capability. It depends on strategy, a direction. And again, depends on the problem. Okay, so solving a real urgent problem, the nature of the problem, it's very, very important. That is strategy, the sorts of strategy. Without that, forget about it. You're wasting time, you're wasting money, you're wasting energy, you're wasting resources, you're wasting training budget, you're wasting your cash flow. You're restraining your cash flow. You're not able to make use of your return on your asset. That means you have no idea on your ROI, returns on investment, return on your asset. You have no idea on your strategy. So if you want to get A in the class of 90%, well, make sure that your report and presentation is as sharp as I just told you and more than that, because I have very limited brain. My expressions is only based on my research and practical industrial experience, plus my academic training with the US Navy. So this is very, very, very important. Leading opportunity exploitation. Well, you got to figure it out. Where are the opportunity and become the leaders in exploiting, in making use of the opportunity. Well, that is a strategy. This is not about opportunity. This is about what? This is about exploitation, leading in a leading way. So if I combine leading and exploitation, that becomes a very interesting competitive strategy. But again, in your report, in your presentation, don't repeat the words I just told you, because the words I told you are for coaching, for facilitation, and there tends to be very concise extract. Well, academically, if I write the words like this, I can tell a lot of story. If I write the words more concrete, more examples, more action-driven, more case study, only one direction, only little bit of knowledge. But if I open it up like this, well, it's free. I can talk left, I can talk right, I can talk about China, I can talk about India, I can talk about, things like that. There are a lot of opportunities, because every peoples are so smart. Okay, we have a lot of smart people in India. We have a lot of opportunities in India, and because everybody wants to improve their life. Right? I have already talked to you, and by now you should already know. The next thing is what, and I have already talked about the method. Okay, every day, every week, I try to spend almost about 2 hours. I try not to go beyond that, but it really depends on the number of pages. Okay, either 2 hours or not more than 20 pages or things like that, because every pages it can give is too much knowledge for you. We can talk about 20 pages in one semesters. Okay, but I give you a lot of pages, almost 900 pages, because I care about you, and not necessarily will go through everything, because many things you can be part of the project for you to self-study, but these and some of them are specific strategy. Okay, but my caring for you, okay, that draws me to compare these 900 pages of slide and continuous improvement. Next thing is market and industry positioning advantages. You got to be able to have a unique, well-recognized, people can easily recognize you, awareness, interest, right? Right? Awareness, interest, action, desire, I want it, right? Right? Consumer behavior, right? You create an awareness. Let people know, oh, there's some kind of products going on. Pretty interesting. Let me go and get something about it. Let me go and test on it. And action, right? And then get hooked up. Loyalty. Oh, excuse me, there is a very good product over there. You can try it on your weekend. That's word of mouth. And on Facebook, there's branch community, word of mouth on a social media. So positioning is very important. Not only positioning, you got to make use of that positioning to be an advantage for your company. And of course, serving the industry and serving the customer. Make it clear. Market, industry, positioning, advantage, and clarity. For example, Apple solved a problem because Apple has back then was almost into bankruptcies by having a lot of the products, and Steve Jobs comes in and streamlined into only one Apple. Okay, and successful. IBM's PC, IBM notebook, IBM this, IBM that. Very tired, right? And everyday production, competitive advantage, cost leadership, all this at the end. And so solution providers. So solving urgent problem. It is urgent because they are nearly dying. How are you going to turn around? We are not turning as a strategy. What is it? It's not, we are not turning around. We are not managing the strategies by turning around, by reducing the size of the company. We are reducing the size. We are not reducing, we're streamlining the size, because for one reason, competitive advantage. So streamlining is what? Streamlining competitive strategy. Well, it's not streamlining, only cut away the meat, right? And then lean management, waste management, and then value chain, supply chain, connect. No. We are streamlining for a purpose, for a direction, competitive advantage. Okay, so if you can get it right, you get A in the class. If so, well, you get a B or B plus in the class. Anything below B, no meaning. So a competitive advantage give you a couple of examples, and you can see that different people presents different things in different ways, and these are just the generic, a general way. Because why it is so generic? Because something general means that you it is it allows you to innovate on it. You can differentiation. How are you going to differentiate? Differentiation is so generic. The term differentiation is being different, or it can be different in the way of your use of your artificial intelligence utilization. It could be different in the way of the way you manage your farming practices and things like that. So generic strategies, the competitive advantages and cost leadership doesn't mean that it's so general. It's too general that it doesn't make sense. Our companies are going into something very unique. We're not going to be general. General is too general. Can we be competitive? No, not in that sense. It's about a degree of freedoms created by the generic sense understanding. This is very important in business research. We call it construct. Okay, a variable. A variable allows you to provide definitions which can be operationalized or turned into quite different types of individuals' questionnaires. Variables, and with different questionnaires. So generic strategy doesn't mean common. It only means the idea. Has a generic direction. That direction is moving upward to your top line revenue and moving downward to increase your profit. Because in our profit and loss statements, we have top line, and we have the bottom line. That's only your purpose of your company. Whether you like it or not, I, as an investor, read it. I read your bottom line. Show me your bottom line. If your bottom line has no profit, forget about the company. If your top line has no growth, your revenue stays still and not like this, and not expanding into China, India, Australia, Malaysia, Singapore, Bangkok, Thailand, USA, Europe, Brazil, Spain, Italy. Forget about it. So going up, differentiations. Going down, cost leadership. So if you don't want to call it cost leadership, just call it relative cost position. If you don't want to call it differentiation, just call it non-price buyer value or market value or industry value, whatever. Nothing to do with your own value. Your own value is money. A combination of this is your money, is your value, profit. Other people's value is not your profit. It's other issue, social value, industry value, market value. So this page, this graph, has a lot of beautiful ideas and beautiful competitive strategy concepts. I'm just demonstrating that how their companies manage just the cost effectiveness to differentiation. You can manage the effective utilizations of your cost to differentiation, to your innovation, to your artificial intelligence, to your Internet of Things, to your sensors, to your controllers, to your pneumatics, to your programmable logic controllers. And you can also cost effectiveness to the way you manage your company in a cost leadership manner. The way you manage your production flow, the way you manage your scheduling, the way you manage your turnover of inventory, the way you manage your training, the way you manage your value stream, the way you manage your supply chain. So in combination by vertical on the differentiation side, which is the top line, and then you put the cost, which is also an indicators of the bottom line, almost not the bottom line. Bottom line is the profit. And then you put the top and near bottom line combination. You have a lot of ideas, open ideas, generic. All right, generic strategy, only two. You can do anything you want. This page is space, is white. This white allows you to create competitive strategy, like BMW, like Toyota, like Hyundai. And they make, and when they choose it, when they choose whichever point, they make it really, 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 really good. That is called commitment, and that is called advantage, competitive advantages. That is called leadership, positioning. That is called, in economic term, productivity frontier. That is called, in layman's term, best practices. I see, you no need to study so many classes, right? Just this page is sufficient for you to, be #1 in the world. So what is the difficulties in brand management? What is the difficulties in marketing management? What is the difficulty in human resource management? What is the all can be solved by this page. And I can ask you a project on this page. How are you going to link to human resource management? How are you going to link to brand management? What kind of human resources management? What kind of brand management? What kind of marketing strategy? What kind of internal communications marketing? And what kind of external marketing communications? What kind of social responsibility? What kind of ethical protocol that you need relative to corresponding to this page? Right, it's already 1 hour. Okay, we have spent time slowly. No need to rush. Okay, if we cannot finish by the times of 2 hours and everybody get tired, let's say take a break, go back home, relax, have a good meal, and because everything is unlimited and no ending. So you don't need to worry, okay? And you can learn by project. That's why I need to give you weekly projects. And weekly projects, I need to give you a project that not only apply, because apply you only listen and apply, but I also need you to think more. So I will give you something to allow you to think more. Give me more knowledge. Tell me more. Teach me more. If I keep on teaching you, that is not a good teaching. You gotta teach me, you gotta share with me. So next week on, we will have presentation. So your time for presentation start from next week. You will be the teachers. I will try to slow down my teachings or recording, and your jobs give back to you. So I hands off, okay? Right? If you want to look into my teachings or my guidance or my coaching, we will make some recording. But the Zoom time for you. And don't look at it as a teaching. Look at me as a coach. That's a facilitator. I only stimulate your inspiration. I only stimulate your cognition. I only stimulate your emotion. I want you to get excited. And again, and at the end of the day, at the end of the day, is that you will organize all your strategies and practices and action in a more organized way we call business model or value chain. Okay, so it's more cohesive It's integrating from one end to one end of activity to another end of activity, or to one end of the network to another end of the network. Is not is you know, by this time we have a lot of Internet of Things, IoTs, and artificial intelligence, and sensors, and digitization, and technologies, and things like that. So networking connections becomes very simple. It's just computer programming. So business model, physical logistics is hello. It's not much of an issue. Well, you can improve on the logistical facilities and infrastructures and things like that. But the key point of competitive advantages, and I don't have the time to, again, I try to give you so many things, but you know, this is not possible for me to keep adding on the slide. But I have delivered one of the keynote speech I think back in a couple of years ago in India, was talking about sharing about digitizations and digital transformations, and I demonstrated with the data from the World Competitiveness Index, and demonstrated that physical logistics is not the key. Its importance at this still it's very, very important. But the things that are equally taking over and becoming more and more important is the digital logistics. So we are not talking about physical logistics. We're talking about physical logistics. We're talking about cybernetics. We are talking about social cybernetics. Okay, a system. Okay, so these are the business model. So you don't need to go in, so serious about what is business model campus, or what are that 8 blocks, 9 blocks, 10 blocks, or 20 blocks, or whatever. What's going on? What is customer value proposition? Well, I mean, the details you can go and slowly pick it up. But the key point, do you know about it? Because the key point is the generic advantages and knowledge and competency, which I teach in another class, which I hope that the students will get masters on, is the concepts behind it. That is the strategic competitiveness, which is organized synergies, or enlightened or interactive set of activities we call business model of value chains, or whatever you want to call it, networking, whatever. The more computerized it is, the more you can network. It's no problem. No matter how complicated the network is, no big deal. It's computerized, computers, programming, simple. So therefore, in this graph, you will see that our job, I have 2 arrows. One is coming down, one is going up. So what does it mean? It means that if you organize your organizations, or your teams, or your supply chains, or your supplies network, or your customer segments, or customer network, and if you can even utilize the computers and this and that, then what happened? It can deliver competitive advantages. It could make you differentiated. It could make you cost efficiency. It can make you focus and get on and hold on and control and conquer the niche market. It can make you fulfill certain needs of the customer. It can make you produce certain types of product variety. It can get you and penetrate into certain areas that nobody else can penetrate, access bad. It can get you standardized control and quality. So you can a whole bunch of advantages depending on all these. This kind of advantages can be competitive strategy. And they end all this competitive strategy for what? For business. Business for what? Top line. Top line for what? Target customers and competitive target. Right? So again, do not need to get so serious about it. That it is about your innovation. It is about your internet searching. So if you want to get in the class, well, you tell me all these things. You tell me all these things, not repeat. Tell me with real things that I can know. Don't go and teach me all these things again. I don't want to listen. All right. I want to show you the real examples, the real activities. How are you gonna do it? Right? How are you gonna do it? And so this is very important. Okay. And so the next page is even more important. Is even more important, and okay, let's pause to see how we can understand this page. This page is like the oval shape of the engines of an airplane that allowed you to fly. All right, the shape of the engine that allowed you to fly. Okay. Well, of course, how are we gonna fly? Well, you're gonna fly in this page with strategy, and you're gonna fly with how we going to think and action to help us deliver some unique strategy. So it provides different concepts and different philosophy and different angles, different elements, different ingredients to look at and help us design this engine in a holistic, in an enlightened way, so that the air is being sucked in and the fuels are being pumped in, the timings is there, ignition, and then you start to have combustion working on and produce the right temperature, produce the right pressure with the sensors going on, the learning school. And then you can adjust your air intake, you can adjust your fuel intake, and you can adjust your air lift so that the airplanes can lift up or lift down depending on the wind pressure. I know that changes the pressures from the top or changes the pressure from the bottom, and also the push angle so that there is a tilt, there is going this direction, there's going this direction on your wind side, and together with all this control system, engines fly supersonic, hypersonic. Okay, so therefore, in conclusion, how are we going to competitively derive? How are we going to derive the competitive strategy? We can look at it as this engine. These kind of things allow you to think in diversified manners. Okay, I do not need to go and bring to memorize. I do not need to go and read the textbook. I just understand the construction of this airplane engine. I can fly. I believe I can fly. Right? I believe I can touch the sky. Right? So this is the key issue. So, well, these situations, you look at it is that, for example, the key thing in the center, which is called cognitive school. If you want to create competitive strategy, you got to focus on your thinking. cognition, thinking. So look at from every single angles, from different places, from from lean startup places, or from design thinking, all this design thinking, lean thinking, whatever ideas that you read or other people teach you. This is nothing but what? Cognitive school. Just teach you, just give you the idea to think, to think, to think, to think, to think, to think. Design thinking, think. Brainstorming, think. Right? So thinking, cognitive school. So thinking creates everything. Okay. So how do I know you have competitive strategy? I look at the way you write. I look at your thinking. I already know you get A or get B or get B plus or get whatever. Right? Okay. So reading it is very simple. Now, how do you influence the competitive strategy? We can influence by the competitive environment, which is called culture. That is the reason certain industry can take off in China, other industry can take off in India, other industries can take off in USA, other industry can take off in California, other industries can take off in Singapore, other industries can take off in Thailand, and other industries can take off in Malaysia. Cultural school, ability to make use of the culture and manifesting that culture to the public gives you the competitive advantage, right? So the next one is like an airplane. If I want to know how much fuel I need to take, or how much speed of fuel I need to inject, or how much air I need to rush in, or how many steps I need to pass through, the air from increasing the pressure. If you go to the thermodynamic diagrams and increase the pressures, and then or to the pumping system or to the compressor system and things like that, so they increase the power of the densities and then combustion and then the things like that. That is called, and you need the sensor. That is called power schools and learning school. You need to understand where are your data. Did you learn from your data? Do you have the power the resources, power of your design, power of your compressor, power of your evaporators, power of your control system. Powers give you advantages. But who has the power? Who has the say? Well, once you have all this issue, right, you still need to understand your airplanes need to go certain direction. That is where the positioning school come in. That is where all the forces will push out. The forces push out, action, reaction. The airplanes go. Positioning is where you want to go. The beginning. So show me your money, show me your position. If you don't have position, next time you ask the customer, excuse me, do you know who I am? Or I have no idea who you are. So if you have no idea who you are, so how do I give you the money? I give the money to people who I know. So you got a position. The position drive your everything's making things happen. Once you consolidate your direction, once you consolidate the big environment, once you consolidate the learning and powers and cognitive school, the next thing is to put it all on the plan, on the pencil paper, so on your systems, or do it. Decide it. So we have planning schools, we have design school. So is it necessary to have a business plan? Not necessary. A paper is a plan. Well, nowadays we have a lot of computers, programming, and that is a plan. I design, I program it, I design it. And then what happened? Well, things happen, environment change, entrepreneurial school. Things change, I gotta adapt it, I gotta innovate, I gotta look into flexibility, I gotta adaptations, I gotta be commercializations, I gotta make things happen, I gotta move forward with money coming into the picture, integrations of everything, configuration school. right? Integrating everything into a powerful engine for your company. This slide tells all the story, and you cannot easily identify and explain the from the textbooks, but you can find the original ideas from the, I think it's Professor Henry Binsberg from universities. Not so sure Minnesota or somewhere else in Canada, and but the explanations are that he provides and my provisions supplies of your interpretations are slightly different. I look at it from the engine of the aircraft perspectives, and I look at it from the strategic perspective. I'm not looking into a lot of variables in that particular area. So I'm just moving, interpreting in the direction of strategic, competitive strategy, and for the students who are measuring and emphasizing and majoring and taking my class on business competency development. So what kind of competency you need for positions? What kind of competency you need for cognitives? What kind of competency you need for culture? What kind of competency you need for environmental school, which is the whole environment of the industries, the market, or the nations, or the macro environment, micro environments, meso environment, whatever environments, and planning school, competency for design school, competency for entrepreneurial school, competency for learning school, competency for power school, competency for configuration school. So this course, this graph, I can stop here and combine business competency and the competitive strategy, and I also can combine business research because no one has done the research in this kind of thought process, and I can combine strategic management because I can use this to manage my strategy in one. I can even start on the ethical environment. So we have already almost about 1.5 hours, and so another half an hour, I will try to stop so that you don't get boring. And because we already have a lot of digestion, I'm sure that maybe you have to go and listen to the videos again and again. And when I have the time, I'll put it tonight. I probably will put it on the YouTube, and so you can go and listen. Okay, so this is the key. This is the key driving force for competitive strategy. So just the combinations of strategies and competency and the money. So where, show me the money, or where are the money? That is the triangle, okay, of these that make things happen on strategy. So we have the strategies on the one side. Strategies gotta use the organizational resources on the other side. Competency is one of them. And there are a whole bunch of organization and types and nature of the organizational resources, financially, physically, infrastructurally, structurally, tangible resources, intangible resources, operand resources. Operand resources, meaning the operand is the resources that utilize the operand resources. So we have operand and operand. We have tangible and intangible intellectual resources. We have the process resources. We have the computer resources. We have the network competitive network resources. Again, all kind of resources. Now you have studied business model campus. Have you really look into the details on what exactly that you need to invent and need to do and need to put on your strategies about organizational resources and the ability to utilize the resources in different way? That is called competitive strategy. So strategy is not only strategy. Competitive strategy is every way, including organizational resources, and we call it competence-based view, or resource-based view, or resource-based theory, or competence-based theory, or dynamic capability view, or dynamic capability theory of what? Of competitive strategy. So these two classes you can study together, and sometimes they share a common project, And so that you do not need to work on the two projects, two different times. One project, you integrate these two and combine together, and hopefully you get A in the class better than other people. Okay, so so this is the advantages of the, because everything is the same. I am a person that I do not say this. I don't like to say, oh, this is marketing. Oh, this is strategic management. Oh, this is your part. This is my part. No, it's all the same. What is the difference? There's no difference between marketing and brand and strategic management and business research and entrepreneurship and psychology and human resources and organization development. And is there anything any different? No, it's all the same. You make a difference. I do make a difference. So this is very, 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 very important. Where are the money? Where are the money? Where are the money? Market needs and conditions are the money, right? Show me where are the money. Okay, go to that direction. So everything, please, 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 money. Okay, so the very important thing is, apart from money, apart from whichever you want to do, have a mission, have a very unique, meaningful purpose of your organizations. Otherwise, everybody focus on money, 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 and then no relationship. Money is nothing, it's no meaning, because we can invest money and get the money, and money kill relationship. Don't talk about money, talk about meaning, talk about purpose, talk about what we want to do together, talk about how we can make things happen and make the world a better world. Don't every day talk about money and trade wars and tariff and impositions of these rules and regulations and authoritative rules and regulations and this and that. At the end, everybody no motivation. This is important. Business mission, a purpose. So that purpose will make your value, will make your core strategies more meaningful. So whichever environment analysis or company analysis, which is the external, internal, external, environmental internal analysis, and then you with the purpose, the money has a meaning. So you have a core strategy. Right? That core strategy, which I already mentioned, so many of them will need to be positioned through the engine, like an engines of the aircraft, and get you to have a competitive positioning when you fly. So when your airplanes fly, make sure that you're positioning in all missiles, right? So in the right direction. So this you got to positioning. Okay, and that positioning is what? Hello? Positioning important or not? Yes, but it's not sufficient. Let's say I have a missile and I have another missiles. This is one country missile. This is another country missile. But because this country missile has a better computer chips, it can go and better engines design. So it can go what? Faster. This one already hit, and this one hit. When it comes, nothing, because it's already nothing. So competitive advantage is very, very important. Okay, the target is important. Okay, your positioning is very important. Your positioning is very important. Any action is positioning. Okay, target is there. Your positioning is your action, your strategy, positioning it, okay, dynamically, okay, and things like that. So once you get those things done, the rest is just push a button, right? Computer programming, yes or no? Implementation. So design and implementation, same or not? Same. In computer system, in computerized system, and in cybernetic system, in automated system, in automation system, whatever I can design and whatever I can program and whatever it will deliver is the same. If I see a target, if my computer say when I hit the bottom, the missile will same. Implementation, you need a team, organization, and you need to control it. Missile control, right? Sensor control, data control, right? That needs operation strategy. Your financial strategy, your marketing strategy, your production strategy, your operation strategy, I mean your other types of operation strategy, and so on, and human resource strategy, so on and so forth. So your 4 years of university degree, what do you do? What do you do, business student? Nothing. You study only those things. Any things that you have not studied, that is your weakness. So mostly you will know where is your problem. Well, I can tell you a couple of problems. I went to Fongjia Daxue, Taiwan University, Fongjia Daxue, and that was before the COVID-19, which was in January last year, 2000. He invited me, and I think I went a couple of times, but the last times when I went, it was particularly invited me to participate in the whole university, not only the business, but the whole university course structure, course curriculum. And in that course structure, we know, and we identify, and they know, and they identify, and they really change the way they teach at the university. And that's why make Fongjia Daxue University to be top of the world. In terms of what? In terms of chips, electronic chips, in terms of what? Automation, in terms of what? Machining. And that is what implementation and operation strategies are not there. The control is not there. So let me ask you, BA students, business administration student, do you think that if I go and ask you to implement that machine, pneumatic machine, immediately and turn the productivities 2 times, give you 1 month's time, can you do that? If you can, that means implementation. Or not 1 month, immediately. Tomorrow, show me.
Oh, excuse me, John. Could you please repeat the question again that we are supposed to submit tomorrow?
Why you need to, why there is a question that you need to submit tomorrow?
No, the explanation that you need by tomorrow.
What things you need by tomorrow?
Because I couldn't hear because of the internet problem, because of the glitches. I couldn't hear the sound properly.
There's no project tomorrow. It's only a weekly basis.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I will give you the project assignments tonight, this evening, and then you will work on it and then address the issue. Okay, so do not need to panic. Okay, about the assignment. Okay. Assignments, you need to do the presentations and also the you can write your assignments in PowerPoint. So do not give me the Microsoft Word, okay? Because and when you do the PowerPoint presentation, don't simply put a couple of things to assume that I can understand, and that will get you nowhere, and it will give you a B or C plus. So you got to have sufficient logic, sufficient description, sufficient illustration, sufficient elimination in each of your PowerPoint slides, which you will slowly adjust to it. Okay, so implementation is very important, and that's why MIT, MIT University and Fongjia University has already started to implement a curriculum that require all the students to be able to implement real machine